Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Hello, folks. We're live. And James P. Madonna is in New Jersey, and he's going to start us off with some motivational noise.
Oh, you're going to... Oh, I thought you were going to... I was going to say, you're going counterclockwise.
No, I'm just... Don't want to forget.
He wants us January to get us started.
All right. That should chase the evil spirits away.
And if not, it'll at least give him a headache. Now, I'm in Louisiana, and I've been eating hog's head cheese all week. And James and Michael Komaroff, Wildcard Wizard, is in Brooklyn, New York City, New York. Bumpy Road Jesse is in New Hampshire. Bumpy Road Brewing. Hello, Jesse.
Could I be the Wildcard Gizzard instead of Wizard?
Sure.
You could be. Just change your title. And there's James P. Madonna in New Jersey. So we have 3 Northeasterners and me. All right. Now, tonight on Wildcard Wednesday, 6:26 p.m. Central Time, I have Simpler Times Pilsner. I don't know if this really qualifies for a Pilsner, but they claim it is. And Michael, that's why I was reticent to give you an official ABV, because as you can see, it's 5.5.
Okay.
And it is made in Monroe, Wisconsin. And I bought this at Trader Joe's, and it's inexpensive. And or you can get a 12-pack for pretty cheap. Okay, now, Michael's going to tell us what he has.
Okay, I have from Goose Island. The can is not too, because of the lighting, it's hard to read it.
Yeah, the glare, yeah.
It's their Next Coast IPA at 7% ABV and 40 IBUs.
Never heard of it before.
I've never had it. So I'm going to be having it for the first time on the Wildcard Wednesday, and I'll let you know.
They're good company. I've had their products.
I've had other Goose Island products before.
Great stuff. I had their Bourbon County Stout on Sunday, and that thing got me taking a nap. Like, I woke up and I was like, where am I? And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm on the couch. All right. Bumpy Road has a great one.
I have some news, Ron. You said you have the holiday white.
Yeah, from Samuel Adams. It's called Holiday White Ale.
Somebody that said it is a Belgian style, so it will work.
That's what I thought with that coriander and other spice. Okay.
All right. So I have Lagunitas willetized coffee stout aged in rye oak barrels. Comes in at 13.1% ABV. And this is the 2020 version as well.
Oh man, I bought a 4-pack of that about a week ago. It cost me $11.99. No. I remember exactly. It was $12.99 for the 4-pack.
I don't know what I paid for it because I just saw it on the shelf. Put it on the counter.
When you have a lot of money, you just don't keep track. You just spend it.
Right.
Now, James P. Madonna.
Yes. Okay. Ozeki Sake Nigori, cloudy sake, 14.5% alcohol by volume, and I will pour it naturally. And I got the good glass because I like.
Oh yeah, I have one too.
I like.
Encouraged me to buy it.
It's very musical. I like it when I hit it with my finger, and it has a nice sound to it. All right, and here it is. It's like milk, leche, or mother's milk, which I never had before. Well, no, none that I can remember. But anyway, it's cloudy, and let me smell it.
Well, we're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to the examination in a little bit, but I'm doing a quick overview. So I like the sakis I've had. I've had a few sakis now, and I've been very pleased. And I'm going to try some more, I think. But now we have another Northeasterner. It's all the Northeast versus one Southerner, and I feel very outnumbered. Okay, which makes sense when you look at history. There's Nina Yordi, and she is in Rhode Island.
Hey, everyone. I've got a Genesee, classic Genesee lager tonight. Nice and simple. We're getting a blizzard here, so I went shopping at the closer liquor store, and these were about $3.39 for a 6-pack. So I picked this up in addition to some craft beer, and I think this beer is definitely not a slouch in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and it was
two dogs on my end.
Right. That company was founded back in the 1870s.
Yeah, 1878, according to the can. Really difficult to see. There you go.
Yeah, too bad we don't get any of their products here.
Proudly brewed since 1878. And this is a very old lager, but not the oldest. I think we've established the oldest being Schaefer, oldest lager.
Right. Oldest American lager, Schaefer. And Genesee is brewed over there in Rochester, New York.
I've been up there.
All right, now I'm going to... Oh, you went too, huh?
Well, I've never been to the brewery, but I've been to Rochester. And to my surprise, the most popular beer there seemed to be Yingling.
I went to Rochester 4 years ago, and we got to see some of the brewery. They didn't really give you a tour, though, any kind of proper tour. We drank a lot of their draft beers, and we also ate Chinese food in Rochester and did some beer shopping.
Cool.
Chinese
I don't know
people.
if it was. Have you ever heard of Pennsylvania style Chinese food? Sorry, I can't hear.
No.
No. That's right. They had a Chinatown in Montreal when I was there, so why not Rochester? That's all right.
Well,
There's
it
a
wasn't
style.
Chinatown. It was a style. Never heard. There was a strip mall with a Chinese restaurant, so that was their Chinatown.
Yes, there's a particular style of Chinese, sorry about that, called Pennsylvania style, which is pretty unique.
They always scream They always scream the orders to the cooks, the ladies in the Chinese takeout. They talk softly to the customer, then they turn around and scream. For some reason, find it very amusing.
I have noticed that. All right, so here, folks, and then we're going to go around to everybody. Here's Simpler Times. You see the two hop cones. Simpler Times Pilsner beer. And it comes from the same company that makes a lot of the other products that I've been showing, like Bosom Double IPA and the Bosom Heavy Lift Vessel. And Michael Komaroff on Stout Sunday one time presented the Bosom chocolate stout, which was sort of like a powdery, dry chocolate stout. So it says here, Simpler Times Brewing Company, Monroe, Wisconsin. But, you know, it's really, that's an alias name. It's really Joseph Huber Brewing, Rhinelander Brewing. Okay, but whatever alias they want to use. Rochester does the same thing. With Genesee and every other kind of beer. It's golden. I'm thinking there's cloudiness, but I think it's just the condensation on the glass. I don't think it's actually cloudy. I think it's clear and bubbly. Okay, cheers to y'all. Here goes the nose and the taste.
Cheers, Jay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The aroma is not what you would think of, like the quintessential Pilsner would be Pilsner Urquell, right? So this is definitely going to be light years figuratively away from that, because it's 5.5%, first of all, and Pilsner Urquell is only 4.4, so you got over 10% differential. The nose has there's no grassy hops. There's some kind of, I don't know how to describe this. It's like I don't know. It's like some strange bread crust and some kind of weird yeast. I don't know. It's not a bad smell. I don't want people to get the wrong impression. This does not smell bad. It smells good, but it just smells unusual. But that brewery puts out a lot of unusual beers. And the one that you really want to get, oh, yeah, the one you want to try to get is that chocolate bunny, but they don't put that out too much. The chocolate bunny. So the taste here. Let's see. I gotta think for a moment. Well, certainly there's bitterness. Like I was telling my father, he was asking me on the phone today. He said, "Well, what is a pilsner? Is that like a dark beer?" I said, "No. It's light colored." And I was describing bitterness and all. And then he said, "Well, why would anybody want to drink something bitter?" I said, "Well, people like it, you know." But he didn't like that idea. But of course, he never really had much experience with beer drinking aside from guzzling light beers. And I told him, I said, Miller Lite claims to be a pilsner, but I ain't buying it. Taste. There's some, okay, sweet bread. Then there's the odd bitterness. And there's this sugariness. I already said sweet. One more sip. The body's sort of leaning toward heavy. It's still medium, but it's high medium. And the finish is, yeah, it's mostly dry. It's not super crisp, though, like super crisp and pinpoint like Pilsner Urquell. I mean, nobody can match Pilsner Urquell, so it's almost, in a way, a ridiculous thing to bring up. But it is the prototype. It's the one that everyone is supposed to follow. It's the original Pilsner. So this would never in any way match up to that. So let's get that straight. But, however, on its own merits, the price point is very low. And I mean very low. I think it's $5.99 a 12-pack. But and the enjoyment level's good. It's good. I mean, if I live close to Trader Joe's, which I don't, I'd probably buy it often. I mean, I'd get it a lot. But when I'm down there close to New Orleans, I'll pass by and buy something here or there. I'll buy something every time I go in there. There'll always be something kind of unusual in there, catch my interest. And I'll do repeats like this one. So I'm favorable towards it. I'm not blown away like, oh, man, it's so great. But I would say, oh, man, it's kind of nice. Okay. Don't know about the Pilsner thing. Doesn't seem to be matching up. So it could be a style issue. But now I'm going to go to Michael, and he's got to unmute himself. There was some background noise, so I unmuted. But okay, so here goes Michael.
Okay, so the light is not great as far as reading this, but it's Next Coast IPA from Goose Island Brewing out of Chicago, Illinois. It's an InBev company, and it's 7% alcohol and 40 IBUs. Let me pour it in the glass for you. Let's see if I can do a good pour. Not bad. So you're getting a golden yellow color with a lot of bubble stream shooting up the glass. So it looks like it has a lot of carbonation, at least to look at it. 2-finger white head. And let me tell you what the hops are that are in here, since I did write them down. Nugget, Citra, and Mosaic hops. So we will see what I am going to get from it. Let me get a nose on it. Okay, the nose is very hop forward. You're getting some dankness, maybe a little bit of pine. What else are we getting? Definitely a hoppy front, though. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of grassiness. Everybody, I'm going in. Cheers.
Cheers to your tasting.
Ooh. Okay, for 40 IBUs, it gives you kind of a bitter punch in the first sip. So you're getting bitterness on the first. When it hits your palate, it's bitter. The bitterness kind of fades away a little bit, and you're getting some citrus, grapefruit. Let's see if I can get something else. It's almost like the bitterness is stinging. So it's with every sip you get more bitterness, but it's like the kind of bitterness that stings for a second and then goes away. So it does. The bitterness does not linger. Citrus, maybe grapefruit, a little bit orange also as well, as far as the flavor goes. I'm not getting anything else. So I would say this is kind of like your kind of typical citrus IPA type thing. The alcohol, so the 7% you can't taste. So right off the bat, it tastes more like a session IPA. So that it is masking the alcohol pretty well. The carbonation is pretty intense. I was going to use the word, and I think it's fitting. This beer is very zesty. I don't know if people have had zesty IPAs. That's what it tastes like to me. There's kind of like a zest to it. But I definitely like it, and I'll be back with a number when we come around again.
Okay.
Zesty.
So first time having the Wildcard from Lagunitas. I've heard that it's very good from the majority of people. So
Oh yeah, the Wildcard is delightful.
I hope I enjoy it, because if I don't, then I might be attacked.
Gotta call it as you see it.
Do like that it was done in rye barrels. That's a nice little
I like
twist
rye
on one of these. Yeah. The head on it didn't build a large head, but 13.1% ABV. I mean, can't expect the world for a head. So, but a very nice dark khaki to mocha type bubbled head. Color of the beer itself is it's got some reddish caramel hues with light, so it's pretty dark. Maybe not jet black, but getting there. The aromas, there's quite a bit of like a fudge note that comes up. I am also picking up on some whiskey characteristics. It's almost like a little bit of a cherry note in there. No, I'm not really picking up on any like rye spiciness.
I think that comes from the additives to the rye, like the what's that the seed that they put in there. What is that seed?
I don't know. I'm not a baker.
Oh, it's not coming to me.
Anise.
Not and
Yeah, a little bit of a coffee note in the aroma as well. All right, first swig. Cheers.
it's in sausage,
Cheers, Bumpy.
not fennel. Cheers, Bumpy.
The brewery in Latrobe is still operational. It's owned by City Brewing now, and they do contract brewing. A cuvee, I think that is a Belgian clown, a clown from Belgium. No, I don't know what a cuvee is.
It's a combination of different beers or any other alcohol.
Okay.
Caraway seed, that's what it is, the spice.
Oh, caraway seed.
It's got a full, rich, creamy body to it. There is a bit of that kind of rye spiciness in the flavor.
Yeah, you pick up the bourbon, you pick up the whiskey barrels.
Yeah, the whiskey, the kind of it's not coming off like oak normally does, like with a bourbon barrel one. You kind of pick up on like an American oak type flavor. This one is a little bit different. Like I said, it does kind of have a little bit of that kind of spiciness to it. And then it's got the kind of rich chocolatey notes. There is a bit of a cherry to, we'll call it fig. I guess it's a dark fruit type note that comes through. There's kind of like a mocha-esque flavor at the tail end. So I think that's where like the coffee's kind of coming in, mixing with the chocolate notes up front. Carbonation is it's on the low side, maybe just pushing up into the lower threshold of the medium carbonation, but it's definitely on the lower side, which goes well with the nice, thick, smooth body that it has. So kind of a creamy stout.
Okay. So
ABV.
now I guess we'll go.
It's there. They're not really
It's
noticeable
hot.
that much in the flavor, but yeah, you kind of feel it in the chest.
Yeah, that stuff is powerful.
Good stuff.
Okay. All right. Like I said before, Nigori cloudy sake, Ozeki sake. Let me see if there's any information. It's cloudy, so it has a milky appearance. It's definitely potent. I mean, I've been sipping it. The finest and freshest, only from America's first sake brewery. Oh, it's made here. I wouldn't have got it if I knew that. Ozeki Nigori is a cloudy sake that appears milky white. Yeah, no kidding. Nigori, unfiltered sake, retains some of the rice sediment in the bottom. We carefully use the finest, smoothest sediment. Finest sediment. That sounds funny. To create, I guess pond scum is a sediment. An amazing, creamy, rich sake flavor. The texture is velvety, smooth, and soft as a tropical flavor similar to coconut milk. Shake before pouring? Gee, I didn't do that. Well, next time. But anyway, again, I don't really get an aroma except for the alcohol, but it's definitely it definitely kicks in. It's a semi-dry, moderate sake. You know, some of them are sweet, some of them are very dry. This is like in the middle. I definitely catch the. Don't get me started with the honeymooners. I'll start doing scenes from the. Yeah, it has a coconut milk, like I mean, not as coconutty as my sister getting a gallon of coquito, which was better than eggnog, but it has a milky flavor. A slight, I get the slight tropical fruit, but you can definitely taste the alcohol. So it 14.5% alcohol by volume. It's actually one of the best I've had as far as sakes go. Even though maybe to save money on tariffs or something, they decided to. Well, then again, Kikkoman soy sauce has breweries in the United States too.
Yeah, I was reading a lot of the Japanese sake companies open breweries here because they said it was just a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
to make it here and then not shipping it across the ocean and all. And they
Car.
follow that. Yeah, and they follow the Japanese quality controls. So I've been pleased with the American brewed. It's still owned by these Japanese families.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah. They same thing with the assembly plants for the Toyotas and Hondas. Yeah, it's done under their supervision to their quality standards, and I'm very pleased with this sake. I mean, I have to remember to shake it so I get possibly a creamier beverage, but I would definitely get this again. Taxes malt. How petty can they be? They tax malt.
a lot of these companies, including the one we live in, have very ridiculous laws. Okay, now we're going to go to Nina. Yeah, keep the cannolis.
Keep the cannolis. Yeah, I got a story about cannolis. Anyway, go to Nina.
Well, if you were in Japan, I'd assume you would have a pretty good potential of buying your sake from a vending machine. They have a lot of alcohol vending machines there, like run on the honor system. There's no one checking your ID or anything, but who knows how that works there. So I've got my Genesee. See if I can give it a nice pour here. There we go. So it's got some nice big bubbles. They're racing around. Nice and clear, but not all that clear. You got a little bit of a goldenrod kind of appearance. Nice poofy kind of tight bubble head.
You might not get.
What's that?
You might not get the glacier water in this one, but
you never know. Genesee, I don't know what they had. They're pretty close up there. They've got that nice what do they have? The waterfalls and all that coming from Niagara. So yeah, I'm getting that nice funky kind of I don't want to say, people talk like horse blanket and smells along those lines. I think it's kind of like a hay grassiness that you get from this, but not necessarily in a bad way. It's leaning on that apple side. The reason I picked this beer wasn't because of the price, but one of the last beers I reviewed was Dos Equis, especially the lager. And I kept thinking that this is a similar beer to Dos Equis, but I might enjoy it more. 4.5% is the ABV on a Genesee. I think you're batting around 20 IBUs on this one. I'm going to go for a taste on it. Head settled down pretty quickly, but it's kind of lingering around.
Cheers, Nina.
Cheers. Cheers. I don't think the IBUs are that high.
You don't think they're 20? Maybe 15?
No. If it's that.
If
but
it's
anyway.
like a, all right.
They're usually pretty low on those kind of beers, but.
So I'm getting the malt note right on the tip of my tongue, which makes me think this might be a fairly recent canned batch of this, because I'm tasting a nice crisp malt, which I don't always get from these. It's not finishing with that grassiness whatsoever, but I guess you could kind of call that a hop, that grassy note. That might be whatever their, the small amount of hop that you get in one of these beers. Yeah, it's real simple, real clean. Finish is clean. I've heard people refer to this as a somewhat dirty beer. And I've always looked for that. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, is that dirty beer people did their finger at? I see nothing dirty about it. Very clean finish, a nice flavor. It's kind of sitting there, with almost your, it's real basic. Your ham's kind of a beer. It's kind of almost like Budweisery without that fancy yeast. It's brewed in the same facility as Narragansett, so I'm getting that Narragansett kind of thing about it. It's just real pleasant and a good price. 4.5% alcohol. I mean, there's not a whole lot to go on. Clean water. It's not dirty water. It's a pleasant beer. So yeah, not too much to harp on. I'm happy with it.
Okay.
It doesn't stick to your tongue like a Schlitz, but it's got that nice. This one's almost crackery. I don't normally get that from this, but I guess it's maybe a fresh batch. So Genesee, check it out.
All right. Now, the first time I had Genesee beer was in 1997 on US Highway 11 northbound in Hop Bottom, Pennsylvania. We stopped there for lunch, and I had a baked chicken dinner. I think they had like some kind of like fried potatoes with it, with the skin on, and some kind of greens. And I had a bottle of Genesee. It was a bottle, 12-ounce bottle, and that was like what they had, and it was like $1.50. And
Was this in the Amish area?
Hot Bottom is in like northeastern Pennsylvania.
Oh, Scranton? Yeah, Scranton.
Northeastern.
Well, you go through Harrisburg, and then you go northeast of that, and you're heading toward the New York border. But Hot Bottom is so tiny; it's like a little village.
Could be Bucks County, maybe.
So you passed Hershey.
We went to Hershey and toured the chocolate factory.
There's a lot of that. If it was like a big communal setting, kind of a restaurant, those are very common in the Amish country, or it's like a family style, and it's a real family.
This wasn't like that.
I went to a buffet in
just
Blue Ball, Pennsylvania, in Lancaster County, called the Shady Maple Farms. It's a pretty good buffet. But the people there, they're all obese. They were pushing me, trying to get to the food. Like one member of the family was bigger than the other, and they were very, very pushy. Like even the child was like the size of Chris Christie. That's how big they were.
My father went to Pennsylvania in 1985, I think, and they went to this place out west of Philadelphia called Plenty. It was one of those communal places where you sit down at a table and eat. And he said it was good, and they gave you plenty, good and plenty. But the little place at Hot Bottom, well, it was a nice little restaurant, and the baked chicken was really good, and with the bread and butter and everything. And I drank that Genesee beer, and I was saying, boy, this beer is really good on this summer day, summer afternoon. So I just remember Genesee from then. And then, of course, I never found it around here, but I bought it on road trips to Maryland. I bought a 6-pack in Maryland one time, and etc. But it is in Mississippi now, and we live, I'm close to Mississippi, so it may be on the way to Louisiana, right? Now, score on this. Oh, and I would rather drink. I'm not really in love with this beer, I'm going to tell you right now. But I'd rather drink this than a session IPA. Session IPA just grind my gears because the body's so thin. It's like hop water. And the only session IPA I ever drank that I thought was worthwhile was the Founders All Day. That's just the way I feel about it. Now this beer, it might be different scores at different times because I'm not too sure about this company's quality control, but I would like to visit the brewery one day. But well, I'll give it a B, like a 83 out of 100, a B. 8.3 out of 10. That's it, a B. And there's nothing wrong with a B, especially when you get it for so cheap. Now, what do you score, Michael? That's an 83. I know Michael writes them.
I'm giving mine a 92, which is an A minus, the top of my A minus. It's really good. I recommend this for people who don't mind beers that are bitter and zesty. But I like the bitterness. And to me, this tastes more like 50 than 40. But it's really good. And I recommend it. I actually like Goose Island stuff.
Yeah, I do too. What do you think about their Goose IPA, their Goose Island IPA, the regular one?
I actually like this better. But
oh, okay.
If you look on Beer Advocate and some of these other rating things, most, the ratings seem to favor the regular IPA. But I've had both. I like this better.
The regular IPA is an English IPA as well, so a little bit different.
Oh, it's English. Okay.
Yeah.
It's English style.
Now, that's why it's only 5.9 and the IBUs are relatively low. Okay.
I think it's 55 IBUs, though, which is 15 more than this, and this tastes more bitter. So it's hard to figure. Maybe the usage of the hops make it different.
In the malt.
Nina, we drank some 12 Horse Ale at the brewery in Rochester on draft, and it was really good. And now they said they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back limited.
I've never come across it.
Yeah, on the store shelves again, limited in cans and bottles, but it'll be very difficult to find it.
Cream ale has been making a resurgency, and I'm not sure if it's a seasonal boom that they have going on or if it's a demand. But I've recently been coming across 6-packs of the cream ale in my local liquor store, and I started frequenting my local one again. Picked up last week a 6-pack of the cream ale as well as that 6-pack of Dos Equis, and got home, checked my debit account, and was charged $2. I figure, all right, it must be like a $2 service charge or something. It's been a couple weeks now, and I've yet to see any change in, deduction. So I was given a little holiday treat, $2 for 12 beers at my local liquor store.
That is bizarre. That is bizarre.
They made a comment about it. Made a comment about it, something not ringing up and it being free, and I guess they weren't kidding.
Right.
Great store.
Well, that hasn't happened to me yet, but I wouldn't. Well, I'd probably, if I was at the store when it happened, I would say, wait a minute, this isn't right. And that did happen about a year ago when I was buying beer or something, and I told the girl, I said, this isn't right. And she went and changed it. I didn't want her to get in trouble,
Mm-hmm. But this was the owner, I believe.
Registered. Oh, the owner. Well, that's different. You own it. Now, what do you score yours? Your Wildcard. And by the way, folks, we have a review. We have a duo review coming up tomorrow morning for Willet 4-year aged rye whiskey. Okay, Jesse, what do you score your Wildcard stout?
So, like I said at the beginning, I've heard a lot of good things from this from quite a few people. Actually, I haven't heard anybody put it down. So let me be another one that says it's really good and give it a 98 out of 100.
Do you believe that in your heart, or are you saying that for political reasons?
Oh, no, I believe it. Yeah. No, I think that this is right up there with KBS. Sure.
Wow. Would you drink 4 in a row? No.
No.
Or you would drink 2 in a row?
On a better day, I would. Not feeling the greatest at the moment.
What's wrong? You feeling kind of bad?
Yeah, well, I've got some symptoms that coincide with the COVID, so
That's not good.
No, and I
Oh,
was in
man.
contact with somebody that tested positive. So here we go.
Hope you don't have the cocoa bee.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get tested tomorrow because
Oh man, that's a drag. Beer is probably good at fighting it off, though.
maybe.
Not to mention straight bourbon. Well, I'm sorry that you're feeling kind of bad.
Well, hopefully I'm fine and go back to work.
Right. What's the worst that could happen? No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't mean that. Okay. I'm sorry you're feeling bad. All right. Anyway, James, how do you score your milky sake?
10,000 international units of vitamin D3, 50 milligrams of zinc. The sake, as sakes go, I would give it a 97% out of 100 because I preferred the extra dry sake that I brought on a show, I think last year. So, but it's pretty good. I mean, I shook it up and it does taste a tad bit better. So 97 out of 100. Now, my answer to Mr. Cassidy, to Mr. Cassidy is the best place I ever ate in Lancaster County was where the local people go, which I knew was going to happen. It's called Cactus Willie's. Cactus Willie's, they had all you can eat, and they had shell steaks and ribeye steaks, all you can eat with the sauteed mushrooms and onions. And I mean, you can't beat it. And what I did was I took the hot apple cobbler, or peach cobbler rather, and put the vanilla ice cream on top of the hot peach cobbler, and it trickled down, you know, and it was very good. But anyway, is that a human face? Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, I like lamb. Middle Eastern people like it. I like it. It's got a strong taste, but I like lamb. Right. Anyway, yes, Cactus Willie's, 97% out of 100. Shady Maple Farms is a bit of a tourist trap, but I didn't take any bus. That's for old geezers. You know, I went with somebody in the car. Anyway, yeah, 97%. Next time, I'm going to get the extra dry sake, which you got to try things, you know. Dave Cassidy, I liked his show when I was a kid, you know, the Partridge Family, you know.
Right. It was,
I don't think they played. I think they lips. I don't think they knew how to play those instruments. The Partridge Family. They just.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But they did want everybody to come on and get happy. But
David's the only one.
I would like to try some more sake. And I think I love you. All right. Now Nina's going to give us her score.
I'm going for a 90 on this. I think it's very good. One of the weird things I'm getting is the similarity to the way that Bud Light finishes and lingers. But that grassy note that I've described tends to kind of wash that away, which, I don't know, that's very pleasant in my opinion. I haven't had Bud Light in a long while, but I remember there being like a cardboardness that remained on your tongue. And the suddiness of this tends to kind of surpass, you know, that effect. But yeah, that must be the malt that gives you that, you know, kind of lingering flavor, you know, that kind of sticks around. That's the only thing I can imagine. And not normally getting that from this beer, and not normally getting the malt profile I've described, because I do think this is a relatively fresh can. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting similarity. So yeah, great beer. 90, I think, is a fair score. I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. So we had some pretty good scores tonight, I have to say. 97 and 90 and 98. and then some 83 and oh wait, what was your score again, Michael? I lost track of
92.
92. Okay, well that's good. That's very good. So that's actually excellent.
Yeah.
I get discombobulated sometimes. Like I was so shamed a couple of weeks ago on Stout Sunday, and I was like, I only had like one of those stouts, and then Michael Komaroff's like, what are you talking about? You had this one and this one and this one. He named 3 of them. And I was like, oh, I feel like a fool, you know.
You just forgot. You can forget.
I know. It always happens when I can't remember.
We have a weather event going on here, some big blizzard or something brewing, and I find that whenever there's like a big wind gust or lots of rain about to happen, my mind tends to wander, and I just can't seem to focus on the task at hand when there's a storm of brewing, so to speak. It's very distracting.
I would be worried. I can't stand that, and I think Louisiana is too cold for me. So imagine how much I would hate northeastern weather. Well, talking about promos, tomorrow morning at dawn. Yep. Do it again. Talking about promos. tomorrow morning at dawn, I'm doing 2 Canadian whiskeys. One that I like called Seagram's Canadian Hunter versus one that I don't like, and I'll be so delighted when it's gone, called Black Velvet. And they say it's as smooth as velvet. In my opinion, it's as smooth as sandpaper. But that's what's going on with me. And then we were still thinking about doing this professional wrestling hangout for an hour where people would give questions, and then anybody who wants to be on the panel could give answers that they think is appropriate. I would just be hosting it because I don't know a thing about that stuff. So I like to listen to people talk about it, but I don't know anything about it. But we've got huge viewership when we start talking about pro wrestling. People were buck wild over it. So if Dennis P. Madonna and Nina or anybody else wants to participate in that, let me know because I'll do it.
When will it be?
Well, I'm not sure. It could be sooner than later if you like.
Yeah, as long as it's not 5:30 a.m. or something like that.
Oh, no. I have some kind of self-control. I don't have much, but I have some. Now, maybe 5:30 p.m., you know.
I think they'll let me have a fighting rooster in the apartment building, so I could make it crow for doorbusters, you know, like have it on my shoulder.
If you could show that it's for some kind of cultural reason, probably yes. All right.
Oh, I can start a cult and get tax exempt donations. For you, the chicken will be like a god. I mean, the rooster.
Right.
And what is he saying? I'm in a happy and I don't like sad. Don't watch CNN.
Yeah, I don't understand every comment that I read. Okay, now, Michael, any promos?
Yes, if anybody has not had their full beer on for today, John Anilli and I will be reviewing Nut Brown Ales directly following this. If you have a Nut Brown Ale, you're welcome to come on John's channel. And we're going to be doing that probably within 10 minutes of when we go off here. So if anybody's interested, you're always welcome.
Samuel Smith makes a good Nut Brown Ale. Samuel Smith.
Yeah, I saw that,
Right.
a single of it the other day.
I've had that before.
And their holiday stouts are good too, from merry old England.
Yeah, like Winter Welcome. Yeah, the Samuel Smith's Nut Brown Ale, I would say buy it and try it. You're probably going to love it.
I'm always afraid of the singles at the liquor store. What is the price? They're never marked individually, and yeah, I always ask, how much are the singles in that cooler? And I'm always told they vary in price, and I'm like, oh, well
they
then,
vary? Yeah, they make it up in their head. Yeah,
exactly.
they do in Mexico when I was there.
You ought to
I would
tell
always
them, well,
them
look,
I'm afraid of that.
I'm gonna. You ought to say, look, I'm very open-minded like you are, and I'm going to decide what I'm going to pay for each one of them.
Honor system.
Yeah.
So
Take a single,
yeah,
leave a
Bumpy.
single.
Right. That's a good one. Bumpy, you got some promos, I think.
Yeah. This upcoming Multi Monday, which what day is it? I think it's the 20th, right?
Let's see. I got my calendar.
Yeah.
here.
21st. 21st.
21st. All right, the Monday, the 21st here. It's going to be Belgian style Christmas ales. So Multi Monday starts 8 p.m. Eastern time, and yeah, everybody's welcome as long as you bring the style that we're looking at. Everybody's welcome on panel. Everybody's also welcome to watch the show. So
And you act like a decent human being. And
act like a normal human decent being. Like that.
I was disqualified. I was disqualified from Monday's Multi Monday coming up, but then I was reinstituted due to further research. Correct.
I had to do some more research on it because I don't know all these styles either.
So I was expelled and then reinstated, and I'm proud of that. Now, James P. Madonna.
Oh, I was just going to answer that person when he mentioned reverse mortgages. You know how sick I am of listening to Tom Selleck advertise reverse mortgages, and as well as all the charity, all that sappy music with the charities that don't even use. They take like 25 cents on the dollar and they put it towards a worthy cause. All these scams will be over after New Year's Eve. But anyway, I was going to have a progressive discussion, but my one of my original old co-hosts went out. You see, the problem is that a lot of people, very few people have the courage to go on live stream video. Very few, but even fewer people will grab the bull by the corns, like Archie Bunker used to say. Instead of horns, he said corns, you know.
See, me, I would do it, but it's just scheduling issues for me. I don't back off of those kind of hot button topics. You know me, I don't back off of that. But
no, well, remember when we did the thing about the history of feminism, me and you? That went pretty well.
I thought so.
That was good. That was good. Well, because we agree on that. But anyway, yeah, grabbing the bull by the corns is not many in this galaxy that will, you know.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. And by the way, next year is the 50th anniversary of All in the Family's debut.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, 1971. Yep, 1971. 50 years.
I remember when I was on the weekly on CBS, I think. It was a Norman Lear. I see, and my grandfather says, "Hey, change the channel." I was the remote control back then because, but we had TV Guide. There wasn't that many stations, and I had to get up and change it, And he loved Sanford and Son. He used to crack up to that. But I like Good Times. It was funny. But All in the Family had a lot of spin-offs.
Right, including Good Times. And I'm glad you said that because both of those shows, Sanford and Son and All in the Family, were copied from British Broadcasting Corporation comedies. Sanford and Son was copied off of Steptoe and Son, and All in the Family was copied off of a British comedy called Until Death Do We Part. And if you watch the credits at the end of those two series, they'll show where they got the it'll say adapted from Steptoe and Son and Until Death Do Us Part. Now, Nina, any promos?
Promo, not really. I have been looking at all the holiday cans that are very few and far between this year. I actually ended up picking up a couple of singles of holiday cans, so I am ready and raring for any kind of holiday program next week. I have the goods.
That's good. Any more videos on your channel?
On my channel, I've been hoping to do a comfort food video, but I haven't made it to the destination that I've been picturing just yet, being that the state is kind of on a 2-week pause, and we are having a blizzard. But I'm working on one, so expect one in the near future.
Okay. Well, we got comments coming in faster than I can keep up. So
all the
I can't
family,
keep up. But we're gonna say, I'm sorry, what?
well, All in the Family put out Jefferson's Maud, and Esther Roll was of Good Times was Maud's maid. So that was
Right.
3. And then Adrienne Barbeau, her daughter, with the large upper body, so to speak.
Large intellect.
Intellect. She started doing Love Boat or Fantasy Island. Like she was on all those other shows, miscellaneous shows afterwards. But anyway, there's a lot of spinoffs. And Red Fox says to Aunt Esther, "Here." He hands her a piece of cellophane. She goes, "What's that, Fred? Hold it up to your face. That's your Halloween mask." That was one of the funny ones. Funny story.
Yeah,
It must have been funnier at the time.
Because he had to be there.
it was funny because what he was trying to say was he was trying to say that she was unattractive. Like he said, "I'm going to take your face and press it in a pile of dough and make gorilla cookies."
Gorilla cookies. Yeah, I remember that. But remember when Julio, the Spanish guy next door, took Lamont and Fred to a Spanish restaurant, and the guy goes, "Senor, more sangria, por favor?" He says, "Yeah, pour some more." Red Fox said, "Yeah, pour
Right.
some." Yeah.
And then one time, Lamont and Rollo accidentally went to a bar room to hang out, and they didn't realize what the gay blade was about. And then one of Fred's friends saw Rollo and Lamont going into the gay blade, and then Fred was about to catch a heart attack over that,
I was actually just watching, there's a Bee Gees documentary that just came out. I guess it's on like HBO or something. I saw it online. Pretty good. It had a very interesting cross-section with, nightclub culture and everything that elevated them to a certain point before, the collapse of disco music kind of in the Chicago area toward the end. Which one of the most interesting things I heard was the comparison of the death of disco to a book burning, a cultural book burning, like an anti-gay, anti-black music kind of head that they reached. And it was really interesting.
Oh, yeah, disco demolition night.
As a book burning.
That was a nutty night.
Now, Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi on Karate Kid, as well as Arnold on Happy Days, was the owner of the Chinese takeout on Sanford and Son and his name was Achu. So a young Pat Morita was on Sanford and Son also.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, fascinating. It's fascinating. And Laverne and Shirley worked at Schatz Brewery. But anyway, we're going to end this by saying, everybody come on back next Wednesday for another Wildcard Wednesday. And then we have another one following up that on the 30th. But let me say this, on December 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do bubbly or champagne, sparkling wine or champagne for a little while. And I already got my champagne sparkling wine. So if you want to do that on a Thursday around 7 Eastern, let me know, because I'm doing it. If I go solo, I'm doing it. I don't care. And the last thing to say is that on the first Wednesday in January, we're going to do a theme, and I got to find my date book. The theme is super strong beer. Don't even show up if it's less than 12%. Super strong, not like kind of strong, super strong. So if it's 12% or above, roll on over, because you're going to be rolling off probably onto the ground after you do. Right. So any last comments? Feel free to talk.
Where did All in the Family take place? Was that in a
Queens, New York.
Okay, all right, interesting.
Yeah, it was
right off of Northern Boulevard. Right off of Northern Boulevard.
Hauser Street was the address.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Queens. He's right. I'm trying to think. No, I used to. I was thinking about it earlier, and I remember that part of Queens, but it was definitely Queens.
And good times also took place in the Queens area, or
no, Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
All right.
South side.
All right. Pretty big difference there.
Yeah, Sanford and Son was in Watts, LA.
Right, San Francisco was in Watts, and Good Times was in Cabrini, apparently staged in Cabrini Green housing project, which there weren't a lot of good times there.
No, it didn't last long either.
What about that moving on up show?
Jefferson's were in Manhattan, in New York City. They were moving on up to the east side.
Yeah.
Right.
Beans
That's
right. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. Beans don't burn on the grill. How could you? Why would you put beans on the grill? I could never understand those lyrics.
Well, I know people that do that when they're barbecuing. They'll put some beans,
but not on the grill where it falls down into the coals.
No.
Oh, okay.
Put them in a pot.
Like a pot.
It's flipping
or a
beans.
pan.
Some of those smoky tasting bushes, canned beans are pretty good.
It's a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill.
Okay,
Fish
last comment.
Your grill has to be really hot so you don't have your fish stick. People recommend basket.
Not brown ales for anybody who's interested.
Okay. All right, Michael, y'all have fun doing that.
Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Remember when Vincent Gardini?
Take care, guys.
Thanks, Jesse. I hope you feel better.
Cheers, Michael.
Okay, Michael. I hope you feel better, Jesse.
Yeah. No, me too. We'll see. Like I said, I'm just going to go get tested tomorrow. Hopefully it's negative,
Right. Well, we're going to close out. And one of my favorite scenes from All in the Family was when Archie Bunker and all of them had the flu, remember, talking about sicknesses. And Archie told Maude, because Maude came over to take care of him, remember?
Oh, gee, yeah, I remember that.
And he told Maude, he said, I got something that's going to really get you now. He said, and here it comes. And then Edith was saying, don't say it, Archie, don't say it. He said, Franklin Delano Roosevelt ruined this country.
No.
And that set off like the firestorm because, Maude went berserk and then Archie's,
I got a funny episode for you. Vincent Gardenia and I think Rue McClanahan, that was on Golden Girls, they played. See, Edith was kind of bored, with her housewife duties, so she got involved.
She answered that ad.
pen pal. She thought she had a nice couple as a pen pal. That turned out they were swingers, and they came over to the house, and they're trying to grab, the woman's trying to grab Archie, and he's trying to grab Edith, and it all happened when he showed Archie's little photos, the ones where you hold up to the light.
Yeah.
Archie goes, "What? You're a dirty guy." And then they started chasing him around the house. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember that one. And of course, and then there was the lead-in episode where Archie and Edith had to go to Maud's house for Carol's wedding.
Is Maud related to Mama's family? Not to cut you off, or is that the same person?
No, Maud is related. The woman that played Maud was one of the actresses on Golden Girls.
Okay.
Yeah, she played
That
Edith's
was,
cousin in
yeah,
Tuckahoe, New York. They lived. She played
right.
Edith's.
Maud was Edith's first cousin, and she was like the Archie Bunker of the liberal world. She was like Miss Super Liberal, and Archie was like Mr. Super Conservative, and they were like really stereotyped, and they never could realize it. Neither one could ever realize it.
She was the boss of her house, Maud, where her husband was like a little puppy dog. She was the boss, and
but remember, he could set her straight, because when she get out of hand, he'd say, "Maud, sit."
I remember that, yeah. But
Shut up.
Esther Roll was the maid, and she left, and there was good times.
The maid, right? That's how they made good times. But on that, we're getting off the air, folks. But on that episode where they went to the wedding, Carol said, "Okay, Archie, just to let you know, I'm marrying a man of the Jewish faith, and his name is Mr. David Green." And Archie said, "Good night, nurse. She's marrying a Jew." And it was like a whole big episode about stereotypes, if you remember that. The whole episode was about everybody's ideas of stereotypes, and it was just like, wow, that was like a wild episode. And I used that in my video on stereotypes, because I made an informational video on understanding stereotypes, and that was the video I used. But it's a great video, because a great episode, because like literally every person in the episode is prejudiced, and they don't realize it.
Well, Archie's best friends was Stretch Cunningham and Barney Hefner. Stretch Cunningham was the talk that told jokes all the time, and then it was Barney Hefner. That he's the one that sold the house next door to Jefferson, I think. And
yeah, and he was furious about it.
Archie was furious about it.
So anyway, thanks everybody for joining. It was a lot of fun, and we'll be back around soon enough, I think.
Next
We'll
week.
see ya.
Good night.
Cheers, everyone.
Good night. Cheers, everyone.